In the very beginning of the generative AI process, or kind of uh, change, the the typical interaction was a user would submit a request to an LLM, right? A model of, and the model would run inference and produce produce an output, right? It would be, hey, write a poem, generate an image, or write this code for me, right? It was kind of a one shot in a sense where it would be like you ask the question, the LLM responds, and that's it, right? Eventually we added stuff like context and memory and other things that kind of compounded over time to make it easier for you to have more of a conversation with that AI or with the LLM. And then um, as we added some of those capabilities, we kind of slowly progressed to the point where where we're at now, where we have this agentic capability. So now when you ask a model something, you can now that model can think about it, reason through it, and then it can go and use tools, right? It can take the output from those tools, um, remember the output, right, that came back, remember the original request, and it can actually pull in kind of feedback from a number of different tools to formulate the response that it gets, the users asked for. And that could be code, it could be a whole number of different types of actions that are taken. And so when you look and when you break down that agentic work, um, yes, there's still inferencing that's happening, and the inferencing may happen on the GPU. And I'll talk about the other accelerator types in a second. Um, but then a lot of the orchestration work, the calling of the tools, the actual work that the tools do themselves, right? So if you've asked your agent to go do a query to a SQL database, right? That SQL database is now going to have additional load put on it from this agentic use case. And the data has to come back to the agent somehow and get processed. Typically, there's a little bit of a processing before the data comes right back to the LLM. And so with the uh, number of tool calls increasing, the amount of non-inferencing work, I shall say, increases. And that non-inferencing work tends to happen on CPUs of some kind.